Hello, Gwen. Hello, Son. Hello, Son. Hello, Gwen.
John, yeah.
Hi,
It's Gwyn, right? Not Gwen.
Gwyn. Yes,
I'm sorry. I'm Dimitris calling from Chicago and Metalkaoz. How are you today?
we're fabulous. How are you?
I'm great. Love the background. Three
Yeah.
sides.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
our dining room.
Dying as a painting, or I'm joking. I'm joking.
Oh, eating cheeseburger room.
Um, so how was the tour in Europe?
Oh, I mean, it was amazing. This is the first time we did a bunch of festivals in a row, so um it was definitely an experience. And the smaller shows were very intimate, and we met a lot of great people. So it was a great time.
Yeah, it was exciting. It was the first time doing a tour with like when we do the festivals, there's like back-to-back press and we had press liaisons and all that stuff. So it was cool to feel the growth of the band and also exciting to share, some of the new songs with the crowd. Like I wanted to play all the new songs, but obviously the record's not out yet, so we couldn't do that, but it was great.
So did you get people showing up dressed as brides or sacrifices, did you say?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, we did.
It was That's always amazing, and for us it really added an extra layer, an extra depth to the show. So we appreciate it. We're going to try and continue that going forward. I think, at some of the it was really hot when we were over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
So I think some of the warmer days it was a big ask. But when it cooled down a little bit, people definitely showed up.
Yeah, it was awesome. And we made these special gifts just for people that wear the dresses that we're trying to be secretive about, and you don't get to have one unless you show up in the dress. But we personally gave everyone that wore a dress, we gave them one of those. So it was pretty cool.
So what was the gift? You have to spoil it.
We're keeping it a secret. We're not telling you. You have to wear a dress to find out.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, yeah,
All right.
yeah.
um, so Heretics and Lullabies is the first release via Napalm Records. Did you have the album already done before signing with them?
A lot of it, but not all of
Yeah,
it.
not all of it. And um, we had the sketches of it, and then definitely not the final touch, which was the producer Aaron Chaparian working with him. Like that wasn't in the conversation till Napalm, and he definitely had an impact on the final result. So it was like 60% there, let's say.
So as you guys were working on the new album, did you have an active record deal or no?
We had just finished up with um, Aqualam.
Mhm.
We both decided, I think we need to kind of, for our growth and for them, it's kind of mutual. We want to kind of go separately. So we started working on it while we were still finishing up Skin and Sorrow. But then, we just kind of just kept going without it. We didn't know what we were going to do with it, obviously, without a record deal. But no, we just kept plugging along.
Yeah, we're gonna do it regardless if there is a record company or not. I mean, we're already working on the next one, and that's just what we do. We just keep going, and we don't do it because we have a record deal. We do it because we love it. And Frayle's gonna keep going no matter what. Just happened to be that Napalm reached out and everything worked out.
I was expecting you guys to tell me, well, we were stressed without a record deal, but that's not the case, right?
No, no, no. We're gonna keep going. I mean, we have our own studio that we record everything out on the third floor, and we're not stopping. I mean, why, right?
As long as you can and you like doing that, of course, why not?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so do you guys keep writing music or do you stop between cycles, to refresh your writing minds?
I think that it's not about any kind of cycle. It's about whatever we feel like. Now there is definitely something there. Refresh your writing mind. I think that's important. You don't just keep going just to do it. I think with anything creative and a labor of love, I think you want to do it when the inspiration is there. But the inspiration is not dictated at all by any kind of label cycle, management, record labels, anything. It's about the two of us and when we feel inspired to do something.
Yeah, and Sean has a library of hundreds of riffs. He's up there. We have the studio on the third floor, so he's always up there recording. I'm always writing lyric notes and melody snippets into my phone. So we're kind of ready to go at a moment's notice. But again, it's just because it's what we do, and we would do this. I think even if we weren't thinking about releasing anything, we would just still do it.
Yeah.
So it's part of your life, basically, right?
Sure,
Yes.
for sure.
Son, you mentioned Aaron Chaparian.
Yeah.
So the previous albums, you did the production and the mixing, all the stuff. So how come the band decided now to work with someone else?
So Gwyn has always been open to having an outside producer. I was more leery of that because, one, I enjoy it. And, we were doing pretty good cruising along. I think the conversation first came up with our manager. I think, we managed by Des Fafara from using Cold Chamber, Devil Driver. And he manages Cradle of Filth and some other bands. And he was like, man, I feel like your other records, they're doing what they're supposed to do, but I feel like it could step up. And I was like, oh, no, there's no need, we don't need to do that, whatever. And he's like, I think maybe you should just think about it. You know what I mean? And so he introduced us to Aaron. We actually talked to other producers before working with Aaron, but the conversation with Aaron just felt like it clicked. And we text all the time now, like it's like we're friends. And so we, with Napalm, and there was a budget to work with somebody else. We did it. We recorded drums out there. I went with John Morgan, who's one of my favorite people and best friends in the whole world. He played drums with me in my previous bands, and I would always, on the other records, almost be like, what would John do here when thinking about drums? There's a lot of tom-driven stuff. That's just his style. So him and I got to go to New Jersey, where Aaron's based, and do drums for a week, and it just felt right in the studio. And then when it came time to mix, and then we came back here and recorded everything, ourselves here. So Gwyn had the luxury of just taking as much time as she wanted to on vocals and all that. And then when we got the first mix back, I was just like, what the fuck? This guy's so good. Like, here's the keys, you drive, you just do everything. And like, so now and it took a lot of pressure off too, because I'm like maxing out at my production skill on those last records. Like, I'll make little gains, but like he's just miles ahead. So why go slow? And then we just got to focus on the creative part and what is the emotional impact of the song, and that was a lot better, I think. And what he did with Gwen's voice and digging her out of the mix and putting her up front is just like fucking great. So
it requires a lot of artistic confidence to let something go, like sound production, right? So yeah.
But he proved himself. It wasn't a decision. It was like.
But also, Sean likes to say, here's the key, you drive. But at the same time, he's a backseat driver. So he's always in saying more of this, less of this. So it wasn't so much as here, do with it what you will.
Come on.
It was
He drove. Aaron,
dude, you were making changes up until days before.
That's part of the process.
Okay.
But
I was this close to get Gwen to comment on this, but she did it on her own. So thank you for that.
Oh yeah, she's gonna. Yeah.
Okay, so Frayle is not about music only, not even about lyrics. You have the visual aspect of that. So when you are working on a new album, how do you guys create all this together? Where do you start? Do you start from the riffs, lyrics? I don't know. Where does this package start?
Yeah, I think it all starts with the riffs. Like that's where everything starts. So like I said, he has a library of hundreds. We'll kind of figure out which ones we want to flesh out and turn into songs. Then I'll come in and I'll create like a vocal sketch on top of the ones that we've decided we want to flesh out a little bit more. And then the arrangement comes, lyrics. And then once the song is done, we kind of take a step back, think which ones do we want to make videos of. And then we'll talk about, well, this is what I envision for this song. This song is about XYZ, so we need to have this. I think with the visual stuff, I usually kind of paint with a broad brush. Like this song is about heartbreak. So how are we going to make this song look lonely? And how are we going to make this song look, like you've lost hope? So that's kind of my contribution, as well as, of course, the visual stuff, like, what are we wearing? What are we, blah, blah, blah. And then Sean will come in and determine how to shoot it. He shoots all the videos. Your friend
Damien, yeah. So we have just as much camera stuff as we do music gear because we love cinematography. We both went to fashion school. We have visual background. So in fashion school, visual expression is how you get your stuff out, right? So there's this component to us where when making something, if we have the opportunity, we have more to say from a visual standpoint than just the music. It starts with the music and the music drives Frayle. But if we just stop there, we would feel like it wasn't complete. So we think about how do we visualize this and how do we get more of that expression out in an authentic way that feels like us and also excites us and, keeps us excited about it. And, the same way with if we didn't have a label for the music, we'd still make videos too, because we can, and in the photography too, like we try to shoot as much as we can, unless we have to, if the entire band's in front of the camera, like if it's all of us playing, then my friend Damien shoots it. So it's just part of us, we don't know how to not do it. And it allows us the freedom to go back and change things. Or like, for example, the next single that's coming out, we've had the video done for a year, but we just added, we were like, yeah, we like how Heretic was the latest video we shot. And we like some elements in there that we feel like we could make it a little bit more intense. So we just literally, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, shot more and added to the video. Napalm's had it for a while, but we are like, hey guys, sorry, we're changing this and here's the new stuff, So we just have that ability and we never stop thinking about it or trying to make it better. And we're going to shoot more videos too after the record comes out.
So as you're doing things on your own, at what point, when or how do you say to yourselves, okay, this is done, we need to stop working on that?
It's just a vibe, right? Like we just know. Like, what do you think?
Yes, I feel like I know sooner than Sean does. He's someone who wants to pick every little bit of, which I appreciate. But I'm usually like, okay, I think it's done. Let's get it over. And Sean's like, oh, but this half a second could be a little bit better. So
I always got more to say.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
At what point did you come up with the concept of the picture in the cover of the album? It's a packed picture. There are so many things there someone can pick out. Yes.
So we had same with like songs. We had a few different versions of the album cover, and we sent one to Napalm. We're like, okay, this is it. We weren't 100% sold on it, but we thought, okay, well, this kind of invokes what we want to, say with the record. But they came back and like, you know what, if it was any other band, we'd be like, okay, cool. But this is you guys. We know you can do better, which I love that they did that. Yeah. So we had this shot, and there is kind of a continuing story with the album covers.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of I guess the peak of, or a conclusion, I'll say, of, the story with the album covers. So it's kind of, she's gone through all this shit, and she has done stuff. She's, ego death and all this stuff, but this is kind of her reaching her, deity status. And so she's blessing everybody. It's also kind of part of as above, so below. So it's just kind of a conclusion of the story of the album covers, but it's also, us kind of coming into our own, I guess.
And we, we shot this just like we shot all the other record covers, and we just didn't feel like it was done. But then John, the drummer's wife, Jen Pierce, is an incredible photographer, and for a living, she retouches like photos. And so we gave that to her, and she's the one that made the whole thing red, but had Gwen's eyes pop and brought the gold out and made it feel finished. And so when Napalm saw that, they were like, why didn't you send this in the first place?
Right,
like, what's wrong? What's wrong with you guys? This is the record cover. We're like, I don't know. But yeah, it's just, again, just not overproducing, just producing. We just can't stop. So we just produce lots of stuff. So we thought we had it. And then they're like, no, you don't. But they're like, okay, how about this one? So we had like, again, a library of just images sitting around. But this one, like once Napalm was like, I don't know about it. Then we gave it to Jen. We're like, see what you can do with this. And again, she sent it back, again, getting out of the realm of doing every single thing ourselves and realizing when somebody's going to be better at something, whether that's a producer or a visual artist, and letting them kind of run with it. So that was, it's a growth experience, like a literal, like a visual history of us growing. It's just this
So
record.
the red that dominates the cover it was not the band's decision, right? Although I do see the purple elements, right?
It was
because I decided, you said we decided that we were going to paint it red because that was I had the kind of, I guess, the concept for this album even before the last album was done. So I knew that this album was red and anger and that kind of thing. So this is.
But I tried to make it red and it wasn't working because I'm not a graphic designer. So Jen is the one that, like, we had like the rough and she was like, oh, okay, cool. And then she like made it for real, right? So
because I like that you have kept the purple, right, on the neck piece, even on in the tears, right, and how that connects to Skin and Sorrow.
Yeah, it's a little bit poking through, yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's not bizarre. It's not common that a band adds a cover song as the second song on the album, on the track list. How come?
Well, we love doing covers. Like, we love making music, and when you write your own music, it scratches like all these itches. And when you do a cover and you take it apart, it's like fun to scratch some other itches. You know what I mean? So it's all part of the creative process. And in our covers in the past, we always try to take them apart as much as possible and make them, sound more like our own. Like, it's funny, there's some of our songs that, like Wandering Star that we covered, Support Us Head song, a lot of our fan base didn't know that it was a cover. And even people that don't know Lana Del Rey, like, we sent that to, early on, I sent it to friends of mine and they were like, that's a cool song. I'm like, well, bro, that's a cover. And they're like, what?
Oh, damn.
So we feel like it's so much ours that I think putting it up front and front loading it isn't a terrible thing. It's also, to be honest, has to do with the way people consume music. And if you're a young band and you want to grow and you are at the mercy of streaming platforms and people's attention spans, you want to kind of front load the record with stuff that's going to hold people's attention. And so my daughter, for example, who's 14 and thinks that everything we do is ridiculous, likes Lana Del Rey a lot, right? So that if that's something that can catch people's attention up front, like, I think strategically it's like not a bad idea to do that, just because everyone listens to records on streaming platforms.
So how did she feel about covering Lana Del Rey? That's
my daughter.
Yeah.
She still won't let me play it for her friends because she's embarrassed, but at least, like, we're in the realm of being sort of cool.
Cool adjacent.
Yeah, cool adjacent to 14-year-old.
I used the AI to figure this out because I'm not a Lana Del Rey fan. So Gwen, I think you removed some of the lyrics, right?
No.
She changed some.
Changed.
Yeah.
The right word. So why did you do that?
The things that I dropped the countdown in the chorus or whatever, but I just changed the lyrics from red dress to black dress just because I thought it was kind of funny. But also, more fitting. And then of course in the video I wore a red dress. So
which is funny.
Yeah. It's just sometimes we do things like that just because we think it's
we just have fun.
A little fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sometimes
in the videos you have like different heads that
Yeah, we'll put Easter eggs in videos just to like make people wait a minute, what? Like we just like to, because we make them, we like to throw little things like that in there. But that was one of them. But I think that the lyric, it wasn't a huge change, but it was just enough to
little nod to who we are.
Yeah.
Yes, and I love Boo. I like the unconventional title. And so, what happens if I say your name 3 times?
Well, maybe you should try it and see. Don't be afraid that if I show up with a machete and I'm there. So
yeah.
Okay.
Or chocolate.
Could be. Roll the dice, my friend. Roll the dice.
Let people do that, right? You mentioned the videos. So those 3 and the rest, the future that will come, are connected, right? You have some, not subtle. You have connected these 3 videos for the time being.
Yeah, and I think that'll continue because we have a video. When does this come out?
What do you mean, the interview? Closer to the album release. So
okay, so we have another single that's going to come out before the album release. Might be a song that you just talked about. And that video, that theme will continue. And we're just really enjoying like pushing that forward. I haven't seen a lot of bands do that. And we didn't do it because of that. We did it because we were like, oh, what if it just keeps going? Because visually, like we love like the way the Sacrifants look, and it's a cool like who doesn't want to like a squad of ghost girls following you around everywhere, like doing
Wreaking vengeance.
yeah. So it's sweet and it's fun, and just to go on set and like you start to set up, and then all of a sudden the girls come out in costume. You're like, okay, now it's a Frail video. Here comes 3 or 4 creepy girls in some vintage wedding dresses, breathing new life into something that was just going to get thrown away. And which is why we asked, the whole sacrifice idea of the fans. I think, with our fashion background, it's cool to breathe new life into things that had just been sitting in a closet or, whatever, or change the definition of what those are. I think that's kind of interesting and fun. So we'll continue connecting those because it's fun. And we have some good ideas for the videos coming up for the sacrifice.
So all the clothes that you guys wear are designed specifically for this album?
So the pieces that I wear, I generally make, not everything, but a lot. And then the masks and stuff like this just kind of evolved naturally, for the wraiths.
Yeah. We had, as when we first started, like Gwen has always been done up, and then there's this idiot over here in like a baseball hat. So it just didn't look like cohesive. And people would tell us like the very first European festival, they're like, bro, you gotta like dress it up a little bit. And they threw some ideas at me, and I was like, nah, I don't think so. And then as we grew and got management and started talking to bigger booking agents, they were like, oh, you should dye your beard and all this stuff. And I'm like, no way, I'm not doing that. We did not work with those booking agents. But, we started like dressing up and doing makeup and contact lenses and stuff and just having fun with it. And I just started having a lot of more fun. It was almost like reinvigorating my love for playing live, like bringing the costume element to it. But I can't put contacts in. And if she puts them in for me, I squirm, and it's the most embarrassing thing. So I was like, all right, let's mess around with some masks. So I made some fabric masks. And if you look closely in the videos, you'll see fabric masks in some. And then you'll see like the more latex final ones that we have on the road now with us in like Heretic, for example. So that evolved. I wouldn't say specifically for the record. I just think it's what we're into right now. And maybe in the future we won't be into wearing that. And it's just, again, based on like there's no like uniform that we feel like we have to put on for Frail. It's just like whatever we're into and whatever feels right at the time. But right now I'm really having a lot of fun with the masks, other than the heat component of it, because they get hot as shit.
Oh, yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun.
With dressing up to go on stage, it feels like you are getting in a role, but it doesn't feel like that for you guys, right?
So for me, it's all about hiding. I'm quite shy, and for me to get up on stage and sing about the most vulnerable times of my life, it's difficult. And I think I think I spent the first year, when we were playing live, more trying to hide, figuring out trying to hide, as opposed to just letting myself emote or just be present. So when I discovered Cat's Little Jewelry, the facial jewelry stuff,
Cat's Little Factory,
it just seemed like a natural fit for me, and it allowed me to kind of, I guess, hide a little bit on stage or videos, as opposed to just putting it all out there, because it's intimidating and scary to be like, hey, here's me at my most vulnerable time of my life, what do you think? So it's allowed me to kind of step back a little bit.
One of the things that we've learned as we've done this band together is to get out of each other's way when it comes to like writing the riffs or writing the lyrics. Like we just let ourselves do our things. I think that the masks, for me anyways, let me again do another version of getting out of my own way and like not becoming someone else, but like you just get to be a little bit more free. And I think that's kind of what Gwen's talking about, like where, if she's going to put it all out there, if there's one layer of comfort, like she's got like a little whoopee with her to make it more of a comfortable exchange. I think that's what the masks and sort of doing that do. It also just elevates the world of Frail. I think that it's important for us visually to express ourselves. And I think the masks continue that, and the outfits continue that on stage, where you get to take the listener maybe to a little bit of a different world, which maybe is more important now than ever with how much bullshit we're bombarded with as humans every day. To like have music and this world to go to, maybe it's a little bit more helpful for people. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I mean, putting music out, putting lyrics out is one part of exposing yourself. Now, going on stage and do that the same, it's even more, you are letting everything out, basically. You are, quote unquote, naked there in front of people. And as you said, these days that with all the online presence, it's so easy to criticize, right? Listen 10 seconds of the song and I know what's going on for the entire album. So yeah, it takes a lot of courage to be on stage. Yeah. That was not a question, sorry, it was just a comment. So for Heretic, the song, you have a guest there, right?
Yeah, Jason Popson.
So what was his contribution on the song?
Heretic, he just kind of sang your stuff. He just added some aggression. You talked about Boo. That was his parts. He wrote those. So he stepped in, and he's just, if you had to say, hey, what male vocalist would you want to work with just based on their vocal sound, we would still pick Popson in the entire world because his voice is just fucking sick. And he's so good at like just belting that shit out. And, he's a friend of ours and he lives, where we're from. So just the universal line that we have this world-class talent here that is into what we're doing. And, his background with Mushroom Head, he comes from a masked band. And he had a record label with Ryan Dunn of Viva La Bam, who passed away, and my old band. He put our last record out, so we've been kind of like circling each other for a while. And he just brings this aggression to the record that we just love, and we hope to get to the point where we can bring him on the road with us because it'd be fucking sick to have him, playing live with us. I don't think we're quite there yet, but we'd love that. So
that was my follow-up. Who will be doing those live?
So Tim, our bass player, can play and sing at the same time. I'm working on that. So I feel like live, what we're going to try to do without, if it's Pops in there, he can do his own thing. But live, to sort of like fill that void, I think we're sort of taking the path of Neurosis, where you just have two dudes doing their best to like fill this aggression with two voices happening at the same time. And the net result is hopefully going to impact you in some way that feels similar to what Popson could do on his own, because neither Tim or myself can fucking sound like that. So we're going to do our best to sort of fill that gap live with two voices, and hopefully the Neurosis approach will bring it over across.
So when I think Son slowly but steadily understands that he cannot do everything on his own.
There you go.
Right? It's part of the growing process.
Yeah.
Right, absolutely.
We mentioned playing live. I know you're playing on October in a festival in Texas, right?
Tennessee,
sorry.
Yeah.
What are the rest of your live plans for this year?
Well, we have a couple of things that we're working on right now. They haven't been confirmed, so we can't go into everything. But if these do get confirmed, then we will be very busy for the last quarter of the year. So cross your fingers. It includes both the US and Europe.
Yeah, we're itching to get back out. We're just baby band with giant agents that can make things happen, but we're the last to know.
Right.
Well, that's good and bad at the same time. You need to arrange stuff.
Yeah, it's cool, but we just, it's all about like your growth and you're moving forward. And I think this last Europe tour was like a big growing step for us. So we're just taking our baby steps.
So for the rest of the year, you're talking about both sides of the Atlantic?
Possibly. Like Europe is looking a little less likely, but you never know.
Okay. What about next year, or it's too far ahead?
Again, a lot of conversations happening right now with a lot of things that could be amazing, but we're still waiting to just get things confirmed so that we can actually announce. But right now, as far as announceable things, it's just that Tennessee show. But I have a feeling it's going to get filled up. So
okay, let me be more specific. Chicago, when?
Chicago?
Yes.
Chicago would not be this year, I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not on the list. Is that where you're from? You're in Chicago?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Although, as of yesterday, maybe, possibly early spring. I don't know. Maybe. And that one, if that comes together, that's going to be fucking sick. You're going to be like, what just happened? Like, it's going to be sick. Oh, Detroit. We have Detroit Black Friday. We're going to be part of this really cool thing that's happening in Detroit on Black Friday that is like not your typical show, but it's so perfect. And why doesn't every city do this kind of thing? So I think there's something in Detroit at the end of November that's going to be super special.
Cool. Last question. I was expecting to get something like this with a new album, right?
No, that's the
I'm
book.
talking about
the book. Yeah.
Good, yeah.
So that's a Aqualam thing. They make the books and we love the books. Coming to Napalm is a new band. I don't think we could convince them to make books. Maybe next time, if this record does really well, they'll put that in the budget. There is a booklet that comes with the album, the new record, with lyrics and photos and things like that. But not the full 100-pager that you got from Aqualam.
Well, I have ordered the vinyl, so I don't do CDs.
Well, then you do this.
Yes.
You will get that.
Is this the one with the red dot? Because that's
so
there's three versions. This one's exclusive for us. This is just the red, and the red splatter, and the black will come from Napalm.
Right.
Yes, I have ordered not the black, the other one.
The red splatter,
yes.
Napalm. You'll get this book though. This is like the biggest photos we ever got to produce that come in the book.
Man, you're spoiling the vinyl right now. Please stop. I'm joking.
Prize.
Oh, okay. Sorry. You can cut that out if you want.
Thank you very much for your time. I love the new album and can't wait to see you live here in Chicago or anywhere else.
You might want to make this trip to Detroit. I think it's going to be pretty cool. Like, once you get a little bit more info on it, you'll be like, oh, maybe I have to drive.
Well, I need to go to talk to my boss, my wife, and see what we can. I'm sure she will be extremely tempted. Thank you very much. Have great shows. Stay healthy and drive safely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.